What happens when America's sweetheart meets morning television's toughest interviewer and the conversation takes a shocking turn that nobody saw coming? The Today Show studio became a battlefield when Carrie Underwood sat down with Hoda Kotb for what was supposed to be a routine promotional interview, but instead turned into one of the most explosive moments in morning television history. The morning started like any other at the bustling Today Show studios in Rockefeller Center, New York City. The air was crisp with the early December chill outside, but inside, the atmosphere hummed with the usual pre-show energy. Producers barking orders, makeup artists touching up faces, and the faint aroma of fresh coffee mingling with the scent of hairspray. Carrie Underwood arrived early, around 6:45 a.m., calm and professional as always. Dressed in a sleek black blazer over a simple white blouse, paired with tailored pants and her signature high heels, she exuded the poise of a seasoned superstar. She was there to promote her upcoming Reflections tour, a massive arena run celebrating her 2 decades in the music industry. Her team had assured her this would be a simple, friendly segment, nothing out of the ordinary. After years of media appearances, from American Idol auditions to Soul Out Vegas residencies, this felt like just another stop on a packed schedule. Hoda Kotb, the beloved co-host known for her warm energy, infectious laugh, and relaxed interview style, was set to lead the segment. At 61, Hoda had become a staple of morning TV, blending empathy with just enough probing to keep things interesting. Viewers tuned in for her genuine connections with guests, but whispers in the industry suggested she could turn tough when the moment called for it, especially with A-listers whose personal lives fueled tabloid fodder. Still, from the moment Carrie walked into the green room, something felt slightly off. The casual pre-interview conversation, usually filled with light chit-chat about family or the weather, felt tense, even if neither woman mentioned it outright. Hoda complimented Carrie's latest album, but her eyes seemed to linger a bit too long, as if sizing up the situation. Carrie adjusted her blazer, smoothed her hair, and took a deep breath as the cameras prepared to roll. The countdown began, 5, 4, 3, and suddenly they were live in front of millions of viewers across the country. Hoda smiled brightly, her signature warmth lighting up the screen as she opened the segment. Good morning, everyone. We're so thrilled to have the incredible Carrie Underwood with us today. Carrie, thank you so much for joining us. Your new tour sounds amazing. Carrie responded politely, though her smile felt a little tight around the edges. Thanks, Hoda. It's great to be here. I'm really excited about hitting the road again. Everything appeared normal at first as Hoda dove into the safe topics, the tour dates, the setlist teases, and the fans' overwhelming excitement. Carrie lit up when talking about her music, sharing anecdotes about late-night songwriting sessions and the thrill of performing live. Then, almost imperceptibly, the tone shifted. Hoda, with a subtle lean forward, steered the conversation toward recent headlines and swirling rumors about Carrie's personal life. Carrie, you've always been so open in your music, but lately, there have been some speculations surrounding your marriage to Mike Fisher. How do you handle all that noise? There was a visible change in Carrie's posture. Her shoulders tensed, her hands clasped a bit tighter in her lap. She answered calmly at first, her voice steady but measured. You know, Hoda, I prefer to keep my personal life private. Mike and I have been together for over a decade and we've built a strong family. Right now, I really want to focus on my music and these upcoming shows. That's what excites me most. Hoda nodded empathetically, but she didn't drop it. Instead, she pushed further, her tone still friendly but insistent. Absolutely, and your fans love that about you, but they also feel so emotionally invested in your story, from Idol to now. Don't you think they deserve a bit of transparency when rumors start flying? Carrie's voice became firmer, a hint of edge creeping in. I appreciate my fans more than anything. They're the reason I'm here, but there's a clear line between sharing my art and allowing my private life to be publicly dissected. My songs are for them, but my home life is for my family. The tension in the studio could already be felt, like a low hum building in the background. The crew, usually focused on lighting and cues, exchanged subtle glances. Hoda leaned in closer, referencing how Carrie's songs often explore raw emotions and difficult relationships. Your lyrics are so powerful. They touch on heartbreak, resilience, love, People naturally assume these come from real experiences. Is that fair? Carrie tightened her jaw, her blue eyes narrowing slightly. Songwriting is storytelling, Hoda. Not every line is a diary entry. Sometimes it's inspired by life, sometimes by imagination. I pour my heart into the music, but that doesn't mean I'm obligated to explain every detail. The conversation, which had started politely under the bright studio lights, was now turning sharp and uncomfortable, and the live audience, along with viewers at home, could sense something serious was about to unfold. Hoda didn't let up, her journalistic instincts kicking in. She brought up Carrie's public image, reminding viewers of how she rose to fame as a small-town girl from Oklahoma with strong family values and unshakable faith. You've built this incredible brand of authenticity. Does that extend into your private life, or is there a separation? Carrie shifted slightly in her chair, fighting to remain composed amid the growing unease. Authenticity doesn't mean living without personal boundaries, Hoda. I have every right to protect parts of my life from the public eye. Fame doesn't erase my humanity. But Hoda pressed further, her questions gaining momentum like a train picking up speed. She referenced Carrie's recent social media posts about honesty and trust in relationships, cryptic quotes that had sparked fan speculation. Those posts resonated with so many people. Were they just general thoughts, or drawing from personal experiences? Carrie's eyes flashed with frustration, her composure cracking just a fraction. You're overanalyzing my online presence now. This interview was supposed to be about my tour, not dissecting my Instagram like it's evidence in a trial. Hoda responded calmly, but with a defensive undertone. Our audience has been asking these very questions, Carrie. Viewers have written in wanting answers. They care about you. Carrie's voice sharpened, cutting through the air like a knife. I was told this would focus on my music and professional projects, not tabloid rumors. This feels like an ambush. Hoda pushed back, her warm demeanor hardening. These are standard questions for any public figure. If you can't handle basic inquiries, maybe interviews aren't the best fit. The words hung heavily in the air, a stunned silence falling over the set. Carrie stared at her, clearly taken aback, her face a mix of shock and anger. The atmosphere shifted dramatically. It was no longer a friendly chat over coffee mugs and promotional graphics. It was a standoff, raw and unfiltered, broadcast to homes nationwide. Carrie asked Hoda directly, her tone icy, "Are you suggesting I can't handle questions?" Hoda defended herself. Public figures must expect scrutiny. It's part of the job. Carrie shot back. Scrutiny and deception are very different things. Misleading me about the interview's focus and using my private life for entertainment, that's not journalism. Hoda claimed she understood the pressures of public life, drawing from her own long career and personal experiences, including her high-profile divorce and battles with health issues. I've been there, Carrie, under the microscope. It comes with the territory. Carrie replied pointedly, the difference is, I don't monetize my personal struggles the way you're implying here. My life isn't content for ratings. The tension in the studio was now unmistakable, thick enough to cut with a knife. Crew members exchanged nervous looks behind the cameras, producers whispering urgently into headsets, wondering if they should cut to commercial early. Both women seemed to forget they were live on air, their professional masks beginning to crack as the conversation turned deeply personal. The question was no longer about a tour or even rumors. It had become a heated debate about privacy, integrity, and respect in the entertainment industry. The argument intensified when Hoda suggested that Carrie's success stemmed from selling authenticity to her fans. They buy your albums because they believe in the real you, the values you sing about. Don't they have a right to know if you're living them? Carrie leaned forward slightly in her seat, clearly overwhelmed but refusing to back down. Are you questioning my integrity now? Wanting privacy isn't hiding, it's setting healthy boundaries in a world that demands everything. Hoda responded by pointing out specific facts. She claimed to have observed times Carrie was photographed without her wedding ring during public appearances, her husband Mike's noticeable absence from recent events, and paparazzi shots capturing moments of apparent tension. These are out there in the public domain, fans notice. Carrie's face flushed with anger, her voice rising. So now I'm a surveillance subject. It feels like I've been followed and monitored my entire career. You're twisting innocent moments and weaponizing them against me in real time on national TV. The back and forth turned brutal, each woman landing verbal blows. Carrie defended her fans, saying the real ones understood the difference between art and private life. Hoda countered, many are genuinely concerned and curious, they feel connected. At one point, Hoda even compared it to something as mundane as grocery shopping habits potentially being newsworthy if they contradicted someone's public image, like a health advocate caught with junk food. That offhand comment hit Carrie hard, drawing a parallel that felt trivializing and invasive. The studio fell into a heavy silence for a split second. Carrie stood there sat, but her energy screamed defiance, staring at Hoda, her expression shifting from rage to a sudden clarity. She calmly suggested, I think I understand what this interview is really about now. Hoda looked uneasy, shifting in her seat. Carrie continued, this isn't journalism, it's a ratings stunt, creating drama at my expense to go viral. Hoda denied it vehemently, I'm just doing my job, asking what people want to know. Carrie mocked the idea lightly but cuttingly, if ambushing guests is now ethical journalism, then standards have really fallen. Their voices rose in tandem, the exchange growing more volatile by the second. Carrie accused Hoda of manufacturing controversy for clicks and views. Hoda snapped back, I just want honest answers, not deflection. The energy was electric. Teetering on the edge, it felt like the point of no return had been reached, and both women knew it, even as the live feed continued unabated. The final breaking point came when Hoda asked, point blank, why are you so defensive if you have nothing to hide? That question ignited everything like a match to dry tinder. Carrie exploded, her voice echoing through the studio, I shouldn't have to defend my marriage or my private life to anyone, let alone on a show that promised something else. This industry treats fame like a contract that forces us to surrender our dignity. Hoda shot back, you chose this life, Carrie, the spotlight, the perks. Carrie replied fiercely, I chose to share my music, not have my relationships torn apart on live television for entertainment. You're prioritizing drama over real journalism. Hoda defended her approach, real journalism involves hard questions, not just fluffy promotional talks. Carrie countered sharply, hard questions need to be based on facts, not baseless rumors. This is gossip dressed up as news. The words left a visible mark. Hoda's face showed a mix of anger and defiance. She told Carrie in a moment that would be replayed endlessly online, if you can't handle the heat, you shouldn't be in the kitchen. That was the moment Carrie made her decision. She calmly reached for her lapel microphone, unclipping it with deliberate precision. This isn't professionalism, Hoda. It's exploitation, and I won't be part of it. Hoda's eyes widened. Where are you going? We're not finished here. Carrie answered evenly, placing the mic down on the table with a soft thud. Oh, we're finished. I refuse to be ambushed on live television. Hoda accused her of being unprofessional and reminded her, your fans are watching this right now. Carrie turned back one last time as she stood, her voice steady and resolute. My fans will understand that standing up for yourself isn't unprofessional, it's necessary. Hoda tried one last time to keep the confrontation going. This looks like running from accountability. Carrie responded over her shoulder, no, it's protecting my dignity. Then, in a move that stunned everyone, she walked off the set, her heels clicking against the polished floor, leaving Hoda sitting alone under the glaring lights. The cameras continued rolling briefly, capturing the awkward aftermath. Hoda looked shaken, her usual poise faltering as she addressed the audience directly. Well, folks, that certainly didn't go as planned. We'll be right back after this. When the broadcast finally cut to commercial, the studio erupted into chaos. Producers scrambled to fill the airtime, assistants whispered urgently about damage control, and Carrie had already stormed out of the building, her team in tow. Within minutes, clips of the confrontation began flooding social media, Twitter, now X, TikTok, Instagram Reels, spreading like wildfire. Hashtags like #CarrieWalksOff and #Hoda vs Carrie trended worldwide. Viewers debated endlessly, had Hoda crossed a line by delving too deep into personal territory, Or had Carrie overreacted to fair questions in an era where celebrities' lives are public property? Supporters praised Carrie for setting boundaries, while critics called it a diva moment. The Today Show issued a brief statement later that day, calling it an unfortunate escalation and wishing Carrie well on her tour. Carrie, for her part, posted a cryptic Instagram story hours later, a photo of her tour bus with the caption, "Focusing on what matters, the music and the fans who get it." The only thing everyone agreed on was that this moment wouldn't be forgotten. It became one of the most talked about incidents in morning TV history, sparking broader conversations about celebrity privacy, media ethics, and the blurred lines between entertainment and exploitation. And it left a lasting question: who was really in the wrong?